to our Facebook Live. My name is Heidi Waldoch. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I'm also the owner of Bridging Hope Counseling. We are a counseling agency located in Rogers, Minnesota, Lino Lakes, and Buffalo. So I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm going to be talking to you about values. How can we stay in difficult conversations, and how can we be in peace when there isn't peace around us? And it's actually our values. I think some of us have gone to like seminars, we've listened to different things, and we hear about how values are important, and we know that they're important, and we say, oh yeah, those are my values. But it's not just that. We actually need to be living them. They need to be like, we need to be walking them out. So when something shows up, when there's a difficulty that shows up, we've got to be able to know what they are so that we can walk through those difficulties. That's what values do. They actually help us with that. They help us with those difficult conversations. So we have a YouTube channel as well as doing these Facebook Lives. And so please check us out on YouTube. The channel is Bridging Hope Counseling. And make sure to subscribe to us and then click the bell to get notifications. So we really appreciate your support on Facebook and then also on Instagram. Feel free to share the videos as well. We're really very passionate about getting the message out about mental health, that it doesn't need to be a scary thing. And these things that I'm talking about, these are things that you can use in your business, that you can use in your family. This isn't just, oh, I have mental health issues and I can't talk about this. No, these are like real issues. Like I use them myself. So I want to talk to you about values, and where I'm going to get some of this is from Brene Brown, who is a researcher who originally did research on on vulnerability, because she was wanting to find out what made connection. And through this journey, as she's figuring this out, how do we be vulnerable? How do we do these tough things? She found the values is what actually lights the way into these difficult conversations and into any sort of situation that we have where we're kind of hit with opposition. We're hit with someone that's not like agreeing with you. How can we move through that? So I'm going to just read a quote that she has, that there are no guarantees in life. We will struggle. We will even fail. There will be darkness. But if we're clear about the values that guide us in our efforts to show up and be seen, we will always be able to find the light. We will know what it means to live brave. A value is a way of being or believing that we hold most important. You are going to have different values than other people. That is okay. Actually, this is how we can kind of move through life with having differences, that we stand strong in our values and in a kind and loving way. It doesn't need to be aggressive. It doesn't need to be shoving it in people's face, but it's important that we know who we are and we're not wishy-washy about that. I think sometimes we'll say, oh, I'm this kind person, and so then we let other people walk all over us. That's not having values. Okay, we want to be able to stand strong in that. If somebody asks me, hey Heidi, are you available to come, are you available to do a meeting on a Thursday night or a Saturday? I'm going to say no. That's me standing with and walking with my values and holding a boundary, because that my family is important to me and that's my family time. And I'm not going to feel bad. If I feel bad, then I'm not walking with my values. And I think this is what happens. We see someone else struggling with something. We see someone else wanting something from you, and because you feel for them, comes from a good place, because we have compassion for other people. We feel for them and we want them to be okay. So then we take on their responsibility and we take on their pain of like, oh, they need this from me. So then we feel bad saying no to something because we're walking with our values. And that's the opposite of walking with our values. We need to say, no, that doesn't work. That's my family time. Is there a different time that works? And if they want that service from you or that connection or whatever that is that you need, they're going to respect that. And I think that's the piece that sometimes we struggle with, is that people don't always respect our values. They don't always respect our boundaries. And again, it's still their issue. This is why we have to do it. We have to do it with kindness. We don't want to shove things in people's faces. So I'm going to just give you a few values from this huge list, just so you can kind of get some idea of like, okay, yep, that's my value. It's important for us to know what are my values, and you want to pick like 1 to 2 to 3, like at max, because here's why. when you are hit with opposition or you are hit with some sort of difficulty, you don't have time to go through a list in your brain or your soul to go through, okay, now I'm going to go choose through those 10 values that I wrote down, or yeah, I'm going to choose all those 10 things that I wrote down. No, you have time for like one. So it needs to be, who are you when you are in that snap moment? Who are you? What are your values? What makes you you? What makes you thrive and just be able to just be yourself without worrying about what other people think, and you just feel really, really confident in that. So here are some. Authenticity, balance, collaboration, commitment, compassion, confidence, connection, diversity, creativity, environment, equality, faith, fairness, family, forgiveness, freedom, friendship, fun, gratitude, grace, health, harmony, honesty, humility, independence, innovation, integrity, joy, justice, knowledge, leadership, learning, love, loyalty, nature, openness, optimism, parenting, patience, peace, patriotism, perseverance, power, pride, respect, responsibility, risk-taking, safety, self-expression, self-respect, serenity, service, simplicity, spirituality, sportsmanship, stewardship, success, teamwork, time, travel, trust, truth, understanding, uniqueness, vision, vulnerability, wealth, well-being, and wisdom. These are just some. I could keep going on some of them, but what's important is that as I'm going through that you can think, oh, that's for me. Or you can go look, you can search on the internet, you can find out what are my top 2 values. Mine are faith and family, okay? And that's how I want to be walking, and so the decisions I make are based on that. And if I'm not walking in that, then I need to figure that out. So how we know that we're walking with our values, we need to identify the things that help protect that. So that would be people that you surround yourself with that help protect your values. So for me, eating healthy is important, being with my family, my faith is important, so I'm going to fill myself with people who support me in that and encourage me in that. So that's what I choose to do, because that's what helps me. You have to choose and identify what works for you. Spending time with my family, that's important. And so thinking about what are those things that help protect it. I also need to spend time in reading. If I'm not doing that, you'll find out what's next. When we move to places where we're not walking with our values, this is when the red flags start to show up. Maybe we're kind of getting a little tired, or we're starting to get snappy. So for me, I will get sucked into judgment towards other people. I'll get sucked into maybe some drama or something that is not healthy. But I'm thinking, oh, this is fun. I'm going to get sucked into this, and it doesn't keep me at peace. When I'm snappy with my husband or with my kids, that's when I know I'm not walking with my values. Okay, that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. That's a red flag for me to be like, oh, I have to go back. I need to go back to those things that help keep my values in line. I need to spend some time reading. I need to spend some time, connecting with some friends that support me in this. I need to spend some time listening to music. Like, I've got to get myself to that place, but I recognize I'm not walking with those values. So let's move back to that so I can make sure to walk with that. I'm the one responsible for that. I think sometimes we blame other people and we think, ooh, that person was nasty to me, and so it's their fault that I'm getting like this. No, this is the point of walking with our values. Even if someone's nasty to me, I got to still walk with my values in that interaction, because guess what? What do you think that does with that interaction? That person's not nasty anymore, and we're having a good conversation and things are actually going well. This is what we want to do. We want to bring our values into difficult situations so that the atmosphere shifts around us, that we can bring peace to other people. We can bring our values there. They may not agree with it, and that's okay, but we're standing with who we are and not getting impacted by whatever struggle they have or whatever is going on in that situation. And then some other things to help you kind of identify, what is it that are my values? Think about a time where you were just like radiating light and you just feel on top of the world and you just feel so proud of yourself, and that's who you are. Think about those times and then kind of back up from that. Be like, oh, that was work. I was at work and I felt really proud of myself. I think success is an important, or achievement is a value of mine. Or it was when I got married. So I think family's number one for me. And so if family's number one for you, and somebody's asking you to work at night and weekends or extra time, you might need to say no to those things because family's number one. Right, but oh, I need the money to help the family so that I have money for my family. Okay, this is where we have to slow down. Is you choosing those things effective for your family? Like, this is where we don't always slow down. And something else I wanted to share before I end is that when we walk with our values, this helps us to not get offended because we know who we are, we know where we're at, and we're walking in this place of loving who we are, confidence with who we are, confidence with how we're walking. And when we bump into something that isn't in agreement with us, it's okay. People can think what they want. They can be where they're at. That's their choice. We've got to allow other people to be where they're at, and we can be where we're at. Why do we get offended if somebody thinks differently than us? That's their choice. They get to be wherever they're at. And so and same with us. Does it feel good if somebody tries to question where you're at? It feels good for people to just love us where we're at and support us. So I hope that this was helpful. Values are what lights the way in difficult conversations. And yeah, I mean, it can be hard to do when our emotions get involved, but the more we practice them and the more we recognize, oh, I just walked with my values in that really hard conversation. I said no. We start to become more proud of ourselves when we start to recognize that we're doing it more, and we have more confidence, and people look and they say, what's going on with you? I want to know. I want to be like that. I want to walk like that. So thanks very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.